as we're getting everything lined up there, I'll remind everybody that you may have seen number 12 showing off that 22.20 mile per hour velocity as he streaked 64 yards for the touchdown this past week. Longest play from scrimmage for the Battlehawks. And we welcome number 12 wide receiver Gary Jennings. Gary, how are you, sir?
Doing great. How about you guys?
Doing fantastic. And we'll open it up for questions here. But I do want to share now that you've calmed down, because even when you came over to the sideline after that touchdown, you were like in a whole different zone. I don't even know if you remember Coach congratulating you, and you were like the endorphins and everything. I think you could have run another 64 yards. Can you just share? I know everybody want to hear, like, mentally where your state was after you scored that touchdown and the helmet came off and everybody was going nuts.
I mean, it was honestly just a state of euphoria and just a state of almost just emotion and just everything that I have endured over the course of the year, over the course of the season. And honestly, like, my body just, I don't know what it was, but it was in a amygdala hijacking. So I can't take credit for that.
All right, we'll get to the questions. If you guys have one, just go ahead and mark your box. Feel free to ask a couple questions and we'll rotate through for follow-ups after that. But Mr. Lyons over at the Post-Dispatch, go ahead and kick it off for us.
Hey, Gary, thanks for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about that play. How many guys knew that it was coming, and were you surprised at how wide open it turned out to be?
Well, as a special teams unit, everyone has to be on the same page. So everyone knew that was coming from our perspective. But I wasn't surprised how wide open it was going to be. Actually, during the week, I was just focused on how basically I was going to attack this returner. That's what I was really deciding, which way I was going to go, how I was going to set him up, and ended up just following what I envisioned.
Did you guys at that point, it was almost kind of the game was slipping away. It was kind of a last-ditch effort to kind of get back into it, and it just had to be, I'm guessing, just something that you guys can build on and hopefully carry you right through the end of this season.
I mean, special teams, I think we're the heart. We're the life force of this team. You know, whenever we need a spark, our special teams, we always come through. So, and we still had 4 minutes to go. You know, we've been down, you know, starting from game one, way more than that, you know, with a minute and some change. So, you know, we're never really thinking we're down and out until that time ticks to 0, you know?
Coach had mentioned a couple of times as we've talked to him over the course of the year, he feels a little guilty that he's not giving you as much opportunity as a receiver as he'd like. In this room, that's tough to do because you guys have a lot of good receivers. How do you keep yourself in the mix, and how do you just kind of keep yourself focused on doing what you got to do?
I mean, it's what I pride myself on, honestly, is just taking advantage of every opportunity given. And when you take advantage of those opportunities, you're given more. So don't ever take for granted any opportunity you're ever given in life. You know, that's the main thing that I feel is emphasized out of this and out of my situation that people can learn from. So main thing is just being ready for the moment when your time comes.
Thanks, Gary.
Sure.
All right, we'll slide down the line over at Scoops. Andy, you are up next, my friend.
Hey, Gary, thanks for your time today.
Sir.
Hey, not to beat a dead horse, but going back to that trick play there, so much of football, your position is contested catches, running full speed to get open, and of course there, that ball had to look like a softball coming at you. Mm-hmm. Was that kind of a tough catch to make, even though you were so wide open?
I mean, I'm a receiver. I have to catch balls in high pressure situations, and honestly, it's what I do. The bigger the moment, the more I rise to the occasion. That's how I roll.
You've been a part of a lot of NFL training camps. You had a great career at West Virginia. Talk about the XFL experience for you. What has it been like with this group of guys, and what have you been able to put on tape, going forward for your career?
Well, one thing I've been particularly happy about personally is the amount of special team success that I've been able to have. In the past, you could say my rookie year going up, I was kind of new and wet behind the ears when it came to my special teams roles, and I was killing an offense. But now I really think, or as of late in the past couple of years or so, I've found my role on special teams, and I feel like that's very valuable to a lot of NFL teams moving forward.
What's the mood of the locker room right now? This has got to be, the XFL is all going to be watching this game. Obviously, you win and you're in. It's pretty simple that you control your own destiny. But what do you look for this week with Seattle? What are you seeing on film, and what's the mood of the team?
I mean, it's the biggest game because of the next game. We know what's at stake, but we compartmentalize and we just do what we need to do. We don't need to do anything more than what we're supposed to do. We don't have to do the next guy's job because we're supposed to have that trust that the next guy beside us is going to do their job.
All right, we will head out to West Virginia, as a matter of fact, and Mike, jump right into the conversation.
Yeah, so guys, happy to be part of this again. Happy to let me join this occasionally, since you do have so many West Virginia alum connections. So Gary, you mentioned being so excited, getting the opportunity, and obviously everybody knows about your college career at West Virginia. Number one, did you get to see the kind of mashup clip that WVU put together on their football Twitter account of you and fellow former Mountaineer Anthony Beck, and how you guys reacted? Because they put you guys top to bottom, and it's pretty hard to match his jubilation reaction, but it was pretty funny to see that connection. So number one, did you see that?
Yeah, I may have seen it like a couple of times or so.
Okay, because that was really, really cool to see. They were quick on that as well. And then number two, obviously you had some opportunities in the NFL. Now you're in the XFL. It is a crowded room. This is a winning team. You have a fellow West Virginia guy as your head coach, but he's not going to put anybody on this team that he doesn't feel is going to help this team. So what does it mean to you to have this opportunity now? What do you hope to gain out of this opportunity now? Do you hope to take this and maybe get back to the NFL? Or are you just enjoying what's going on now? How did this all come about? And even your relationship with your head coach, you guys ever bring up the West Virginia days? Does he ever say, hey, you're a Mountaineer too, so I believe in you? Does that ever come up at all?
I mean, 100%. We've talked ball, as far as West Virginia, but as far as West Virginia is concerned, but going back to crowded room, future talks, and all that type of things. Basically, this opportunity has it's just an embodiment of my whole journey. Even throughout this season, I've started off. I just throughout the duration of my career, I've always had to claw my way through. So that's honestly how it was. And now people, behind the scenes, you just see a lot more. And how do I say this? There's a lot of questions in there I'm trying to attack.
Sorry. Do you view this as a second chance though, kind of? Because, maybe even looked at the highlight reel play that you just had, and this opportunity now, maybe people forgot about Gary Jennings the last year or so. Do you look at this as a second chance for the whole pro career? What kind of your goal?
I wouldn't even say it's a second chance, because it never really even stopped, in my opinion. I'm a full steam ahead type of guy. I know the plans for my future. I know they're great. I know what's going to come about in the next foreseeable years. Just sometimes in life, you go through hardships and you go through things that prepare you for bigger moments later down in life. So, I'm thankful for every hardship that I've been through, because I'm super prepared for everything moving forward.
Thank you.
Sure.
Andy, go ahead and jump back in, brother.
Hey, thanks. Hey, Gary, talk a little bit about who's helped you. Obviously we're getting a little bit close to the end of the season, hopefully not with, a lot more wins to come, but, who have you formed a relationship with here on this team that's been something that you'll carry forward past the XFL season? And my second part of that question is, what's it been like? Has it been beneficial working with AJ McCarron, kind of getting his experience? He's a veteran guy. What have you learned playing with him in the huddle?
Well, first of all, I will say, as a team, collective group, I think this is the closest I've ever been with a team. Just it could be due to the fact that we see each other literally 24/7, but I've never been closer with everyone, like offense, defense, special teams, as a collective group, than
Thanks.
Sure.
All right. Any other follow-up questions for Gary?
I don't bite, just sometimes.
Got one question for you, Gary, and then we'll let you go unless somebody else wants to jump in. But you've talked a little bit about your journey and how you've continued to claw and fight your way through. What's been the toughest part of your journey thus far?
Honestly, it kind of all started in from my rookie year. For my rookie year, I go in and I'm killing it on offense. And like I said, I still went behind it. I went behind the ears on special teams. So I still needed that. I was adjusting to that. Go to Miami. I'm ready to break out. And boom, first game I'm there. I tear my labrum in my shoulder. So I'm like, dang, I worked all this time for basically for this opportunity. And my first game back, my shoulder goes out. And after that year, rehab, it was 2020 COVID year, bouncing around between COVID workouts, got a few shots here and there. And the following year, it was with the Colts in camp. But I honestly want to talk about, even last year, I was in KC camp. I'm killing Kansas City Chiefs camp. I was killing that gunner, receiver, and boom, I literally run into a wall. And got put in concussion protocol, and that kind of, dimmed my shot from there. But I really just can't wait. And I say that to say, not like a woe is me, but as a dang, look how far we've come, or look how far I've come, and look how far that you guys can come from, or come back from anything. So, yeah.
All right. Well, that begs the question: how'd you run into a wall? Was it just too close to the end zone, or how did you literally run into a wall?
It was literally 5 feet away from the end zone, but
okay,
yeah, whatever. Designer error.
We understand. All right. Well, we're glad that you're fully recovered, and again, look forward to everything this weekend. Thank you for the time today,
Sure.
everybody. Thank you guys for dialing in. Appreciate it. Just last thing, everybody all good?
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. Gary, go get some more lunch and head off to practice. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Guys, we'll check in with you later. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.